Hey guys, we're at Lay Lake this morning talking to Peyton Harris and Caden Weldon. They are the two anglers on the Chelsea fishing team. What we're going to do is we're going to find out a little bit about them. We're going to find out where they like to fish, what they like to fish with, and just the sport in general. So while it is new, you guys are going to find out what the fuss is about.
I've been fishing for about as long as I can remember. My dad's been fishing tournaments my whole life, and my papa fished his whole life, my dad fished his whole life, so it's just kind of been in the family since I was real little. I've probably been serious tournament fishing since 8th grade, freshman year, around that time, but I've really been fishing since about I could hold a rod.
Pretty much the same for me. My dad's always sort of fished or whatever his whole life, but then he finally bought a bass boat when he actually met his dad, and he got him into tournament bass fishing. And so they used to fish a lot of tournaments together, and so both of us kind of just grew up into it.
The team's been around since, like I said, the earliest date we have is around 2012. It's like the earliest trophy that we have. So we've been around for 8 years, that would make it now. So I've been on it for 4 of that since this might be my 4th year. I've been on it since freshman year. And I just enjoy it really for the atmosphere, just going out and getting to compete in tournaments with all my best friends. And a lot of the tournaments we get to go stay in hotels, and it's just the experience is what makes it fun for me more than anything.
And you asked the question about what it takes to qualify for the team. It's really, it's kind of the want to be able to do it, because it's a tough sport to get into, because all of our tournaments we're getting up at 3 in the morning, driving to the lake, putting the boat in the water, waiting to blast off, and then we're fishing from sun up till almost sundown, then having to weigh in, and we usually don't get home till 8 o'clock at night, depending on how far away the tournament is. So if you have the equipment and the want to, then you're welcome to join the team. So the head coach position and so our first year we joined, we had a head coach, an assistant coach, and another assistant coach. So it's usually rotated around 3 coaches. And usually they're dads who are boat captains who know a lot about fishing and want to help out the team with the financial side and being able to afford to pay the tournament entry fees and stuff like that. And then also at practice or at our club meetings, we'll go over techniques that we can learn and like what lake we're going to next and what they think is going to be best for that lake. And they really just help us out a lot in knowing what to fish and how to fish a certain lake at a certain time.
Yeah, you pretty much covered it well. They really give a lot of input into as like what we should do in that specific time of year, because lakes change throughout the year. You're not going to catch them on the same bait today as you will in December. It usually won't happen like that. So they have a lot of input as to helping guide the anglers in the right direction to be able to catch fish. For a lot of the younger anglers, my dad's one of the coaches, his dad one of the coaches. It's somebody we've always looked up to, and for a lot of the younger anglers, it's like a sport for them. They look up to their coaches as they would we do. So it just kind of gives them a vision as to somebody they would like to be like when they get older too. Season starts, I think, I'm fishing a high school tournament next weekend. So that's around the season starts around early to mid-September, and it'll go all the way through May or June. So it's.
And then our biggest, the organization that our club fishes with for all of the tournaments is ASA BFA. And their first tournament, which all 7 or 8 of our boats this year will be fishing in, is September 27th, late September at Logan Martin Lake. So we're just hoping everyone comes out and we catch fish good.
Going by the school, we're actually not affiliated with the school. We're a club outside of school, so they don't really have much input on what we do with the team. But it's cool to see when you go up on stage on a weigh-in, these big stages these tournaments have, and you just look out and see a crowd probably full of 6 500-600 people out there watching you weigh in. A lot of times you have your family that comes watches you. Sometimes you have friends that'll show up to watch, and it's just when you go up there with a big bag of fish and you have all those people watching you and people video, and it just makes you feel good about yourself and kind of uplifting.
And really, the being in an Alabama school, I guess you could say small rural town, fishing is a really big sport for this area because of us being so near the Coosa River. And so there's a lot of support from our classmates and just people in general asking us how we did in a certain tournament or stuff like that, because they know we're on the team. And a lot of them are interested in joining the team, they just don't have the equipment, so they want to know about it. And then really when we're at the tournaments weighing in, it's all like a big community. Even though we're competing against the other schools, we're friends with all the kids from the other schools, and everyone wants everyone to do good and have a good day.
Yeah, I mean, so going back on friends with kids, I mean, a lot of my best friends go to schools like Briarwood and like Oak Mountain. All these schools around us have teams that I've just met kids through fishing. I mean, then they've grown to be a lot of my best friends. The kids on the team are all grown to be my best friends. It's just, we bonded with each other through the fishing team. I mean, there's certain areas on the lake that I've grown to like over the years of fishing them so much over the years. I mean, I try to find places that not many people know, so there's not many people in there fishing it when I'm trying to fish it. But that's the biggest thing, is finding low pressure areas.
But there definitely is a lot of areas where a lot of people have known, or pro in the past has filmed a video there, that a lot of people who have maybe wanted to learn more about a lake will go to those spots and not the lesser known spots. In the morning, the main goal is just figuring out the pattern of the day and what it's going to be like that day. Whether it's going to be a grass bite or offshore bite or maybe crankbaits. It just depends on the day or the time of year.
The way we're fishing right now, he's throwing like a little swim bait, I'm throwing a swim jig. And they're both more like a bait fish color. So we're trying to just imitate something fleeing, just get those bass' attention. And because bass are predators, they're opportunists. They're gonna eat what they can when they can. So when they see something come flying right past their face, they just react to it and bite it. They don't put much thought into it usually. So that's really the thing here, is just trying to get a reaction bite, trying to get one to react to it. Like that. Oh.
Like you said, it's all about the technique here, and so we're fishing for a grass bite, and it's usually going to be a more up-tempo, quick bite during this time of year. And so we're just trying to cover as much water as possible and find the one big one.
That was a good one too, right there. Usually, I mean, practicing for a tournament, I'll have a bunch of rods in the boat, just trying to figure something out. But if I'm able to figure something out before the tournament starts, I'm gonna take the least amount of rods I can, because when I have a bunch of rods on the deck, it kind of flusters me and gets me thinking too much, and I fish better when I'm settled down and just focus on one thing.
Also, you kind of just want more space on the deck. Like when we're working up here with two people on the front deck, we want the most space possible so we don't step on any rods and break them, and we can just fish better as a duo.
The hardest thing is gaining confidence in what your partner wants to do and letting them have time to try out something that they're doing if what you're doing is not working. But it takes a while to gain that confidence with your partner and be able to agree with them on stuff. That just comes with chemistry and fishing together for a long time and knowing each other's strengths.
Also, when you're fishing together like for a long time like we have, we kind of look ahead at what cast the other person's about to make, so we try not to cast in the same place so we can cover more water together. And so you just kind of have to trust to know where they're going to throw and to cast to the next spot that might have a fish.
Probably that swim jig. That's probably my favorite way to catch fish. It's a lot of times throughout the year, it's my confidence bait. It's what I feel like if I need a bite, a lot of times I can go get a bite doing it. So that's probably my confidence bait.
Mine would actually be the Reaction Innovations Skinny Dipper, which I have tied on there. It's a swim bait, and I don't use a weight on the tip because I like to keep it above the water to get the reaction bite.
I'm throwing it right here right now. That's what this is. So just a little swim bait that you put on just a regular hook and just bring it to the grass. It comes through the grass real well, and a lot of times gets a lot of big bites. So, yeah.
Gotta let it eat it. Be patient.
what would you say out of your friends is probably the biggest misconception about you guys being on a fishing team?
That people probably think we're just a bunch of dumb hillbilly rednecks that like to fish all the time, and I mean that's just not the case. I mean, he right here, he has 36 on his ACT, so, or 35 on his ACT, so it's not, we're just, a lot of misconceptions that we're just a bunch of dumb rednecks that like to get on the water and fish, but
well,
it takes a lot of thought and brain skill to be able to be out here and figure it out. Right here in the trolling motor, I mean, you have trolling motors nowadays, you press one button and it'll hold the boat in the same place. So it's just, and that's just come out in the last few years. It's gonna be fun to see what happens in fishing.
It's like the industry.
You can't get frustrated when you go out and have a bad day. You just gotta use that as, you gotta take that as, hold on one second. Yeah, you gotta take that as a plus sign. You gotta learn from those days. What could you have done differently in that situation? Or you can't get frustrated, you can't get overwhelmed, and you just gotta put a lot of time in on the water on as many different lakes as you can go to. And that's the good thing about Alabama. We have such a diverse population of lakes out here. You can come up shallow on this river. You can come up shallow, catch them in the grass, go out deep, catch them on points, catch them out of brush piles. You can catch all the main species of bass that people fish for in tournaments are in the state of Alabama. There's clear lakes, muddy lakes. It's just, living in the state of Alabama is definitely a big help being able to advance our skills at fishing, just because of the diversity. There he is.
Got it?
He's a decent one. He's running right at me.
You got it?
Yeah, I'm gonna get right here and land him so I have light line on this. I got it.
Hey, there you go.
That's a
Probably
good
about
one.
2.5.
Very nice.
Oh, the dock.
Probably about a 2.5 pounder right there. Flung my worm, but there you go. See, he was sitting on the bottom. Look at that. Right all over his belly.
Very nice.
This is a pretty one. I'll let him go right here. He's ready to go. There she goes, just like that.
So guys, as you can see, there's a lot more that goes into fishing nowadays than when I was growing up. We appreciate our time with Caden and Peyton, and if you don't know anything about the Chelsea Anglers, or if you want to get involved with the Chelsea Anglers, contact the high school, because I'm going to tell you something, guys. Staying out here fishing all day, you'll definitely be hooked.